starting off with the context that is the meeting with the president of El Salvador and the president of the United States, and the statement by El Salvador Presidente, refusing to return mistakenly deported man to U.S. Now, it's a bit more nuanced than that, but what we have is the El Salvadorian president, Nayib Bukele, hopefully I got that right, refused to return Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland resident mistakenly deported to the U.S., despite a Supreme Court order directing Trump to actually do something about that. Now, where the issue comes from is the word facilitate. The Supreme Court said they must facilitate, and Pambani says, well, that means we need to give a plane, but the president of El Salvador actually has to give them up, and the president of El Salvador is like, no, we can't do that. He sort of went into why we can't do that, but the whole point is he's a president, and he just doesn't feel like doing it, period. Now, what do we actually get from El Salvador with this exchange? El Salvador gets $20,000 per head per year for the prisoners we send out there. So the more prisoners we send, it's an incentive to bring them in there. So sending them back is a loss of 20 grand. There you go. But also what's really stated here in the actual dealings for Garcia, who's been in the States since 2011, he actually came in on some bad visas, bad paperwork, and was essentially, according to Pambani, a member of a gang at some point in time and was going to be deported. That was put on hold. He was granted a temporary hold from deportation, and then now he was sent to El Salvador as part of this pull for the gang, El Salvadoran gangs going there. So it is a big old kerfuffle on what's going on. But the big thing is the president of El Salvador says he doesn't really think he has to do anything. And since Trump administration has to just facilitate, that means they can, have a way for him to come home if they let him go. But they don't have to actually ask for him to come back, so they haven't really asked him to. They said it's up to him, and he says, I'm not going to do it. So there you go. There are deeper, darker, and more sinister legal debates about this whole thing, separation of powers, how presidents can interact with each other, how the fact that Donald Trump asked for favors for Ukraine and didn't get them, and we're in that situation, and he's not asking for favors from this guy, but we're paying him to house prisoners. Oh, by the way, Trump wants to send our prisoners, our United States citizens, there as well. Since, then we don't have to deal with it. We just pay a little check and they take care of them. $20,000 seems like a nice little discount for taking care of prisoners where they're not going to take care of them in any humane manner. We'll see how this one plays out because it's not over quite yet.